Shaun Tilley, David Hamilton.
Now, as we've just mentioned, our studio computer is all fired up to pick at random a classic UK top 20 from the 1970s. This chart could be from any month of any year during the decade. And as we speak, Shaun is frantically entering the relevant coordinates.
Can you hear me frantically entering the relevant coordinates here?
You certainly can. Now, let's see what we've got.
I think we're in business here. Whoa! Whoa!
Hey.
Now, I think you're going to like this chart, David.
Yeah.
This was the time when British Rail introduced the Intercity 125 train. No truth in the rumour that it was even late for its own unveiling.
Hey.
The Bank of England raised its minimum lending rate from 13 to 15%. Here's the giveaway. James Hunt became the Formula One World Motor Racing Champion. He got there in the end. So have you got any ideas at all?
Yeah, I think it was 1900 and frozen to death.
Yes. Well, anyway, don't panic. I can, in fact, tell you that we've got 3 climbers, the complete rundown, and Britain's number 1 from October
1976, number 14.
And this single was destined to become not only one of the best-selling records of the decade, but certainly one of the most popular love songs, that's for sure. Chicago and Nothing But the 70's with If You Leave Me Now.
It's Nothing But the 70s with me, David Hamilton, and Shaun Tilley. And that's Chicago, the band from the Windy City, on their way to becoming a number 1. But this week, rising up to number 14 on our randomly chosen chart from October 1976.
Number 6.
This single was also a number 1, but only in America, you'll be relieved to know. However, it still did very well in this country, climbing up the chart, Rick Dees and his cast of idiots with Disco Duck.
American radio DJ Rick Dees climbed up to number 6 in 1976, in the very same year that 2 radio stars from the UK also had a top 5 hit. Now, Shaun, you remember who they were, don't you?
Yes, I should do. One, a very good mutual friend of ours, Paul Burnett, and somebody else I've shared the airways with, like you, Dave Lee Travis.
Yeah, D-O-L-T. Now, back to our randomly selected UK Top 20 from October 1976. And an Australian band with their one and only British hit were climbing up the chart at
number 4.
How's that? From Sherbet on our randomly chosen Top 20 from October 1976 on Nothing But the 70's with David Hamilton and Shaun Tilley. And after this tune, the complete rundown. Oh, do you know something? It's really good to hear that again. Climbing up at number 4, Sherbet in October
1976, Top 20.
Here's the complete rundown from October 1976, our randomly selected chart on Nothing But the 70's. At number 20, Blinded by the Light, Manfred Mann's Earth Band. 19, I'll Meet You at Midnight, Smokey. 18, Don't Take Away the Music, Tavares. 17, Aria, Akabilk. 16, I Am a Cider Drinker, The Wurzels. 15, Loving and Free, Kiki D. 14, If You Leave Me Now, Chicago. 13, Summer of My Life, Simon May. 12, I Only Want to Be With You, the Bay City Rollers. We'll talk about them a bit later. And at 11, Hurt, the Manhattans.
Our chart continues at number 10 with the Ritchie Family, the best disco in town. Number 9, Elvis Presley, Girl of My Best Friend. Tina Charles was at number 8 with Dance, Little Lady Dance. 7, The Real Thing, Can't Get By Without You. As you heard, Rick Dees and his cast of idiots at number 6 with Disco Duck. And Demis Roussos, the Singing Tent, was at number 5. He's on the verge of a comeback too with When Forever Is Gone. Sherbet, we also heard that one at number 4 with How's That?
Top 3.
Number 3 was Rod Stewart, Sailing, and at number 2, coming down from the top, it was ABBA with Dancing Queen, which meant we had a brand new
Number 1.
spending their first of 4 weeks at the top of the chart on our randomly selected Top 20 from October 1976 on Nothing But the 70's, Dutch group Pussycat with Mississippi. Who could forget this one?
That was the 3 Degrees and their huge 70s number 1, When Will I See You Again? And I'm going to tell you a little story about the 3 Degrees. I was doing the voiceover on Sunday night at the London Palladium, and I used to do the warm-up as well for the show at the Palladium. And this particular week, Clodagh Rogers was due to star on the show. She was taken ill, and at the very last minute, they had to find a replacement. And they found these 3 girls. So I'm sitting in the stalls during rehearsals, and these 3 girls come out. And they were just sensational. 3 black girls, 2 of them from Philadelphia and 1 from Boston, and they called themselves the 3 Degrees, and they had a song called The Year of Decision. And as they sang this, I thought to myself, these girls are going to be the new Supremes. So I went back the next day. I told my producer we had Year of Decision as a record of the week. It did very well. It was a big hit. And then we stayed with these girls, and we had more of their records, and 3 Degrees, When Will I See You Again? That was a record of the week, Hamilton Hotshot. It went to #1 in the charts, and Prince Charles then got onto them and said that they were his favourite stars as well. So what huge stars they were back in the 70s, the 3 Degrees.
And moving on from Sheila, Valerie and Faye to another 2 American girls, Janice Marie Johnson and Hazel Payne, with this hit single from 1978 on Nothing But the 70s, Taste of Honey with Boogie Oogie Oogie. A former Hamilton hotshot on Nothing But the 70s, Linda Lewis, and It's in His Kiss. I guess this was the decade, really, David, when footballers were propelled to superstardom status for the very first time. One of those footballers had a hit single in the chart as well. You're going to tell us all about him, aren't you?
Well, he was the biggest star of all, really. European Footballer of the Year, enjoying a record-breaking transfer from Liverpool to Hamburg in 1977. 2 years later, even enjoying his own hit single in the British charts. A fellow who enjoyed a successful spell as manager of my team, Fulham, in recent years. In fact, I got to know him very well when he was managing Fulham, and a really nice guy, genuine guy, Kevin Keegan, and this is his hit song, Head Over Heels in Love.
Complete with the perm.
Now, in the 70s, there were many great movies with equally terrific soundtracks, and one of those was The Deep, starring Nick Nolte, Robert Shaw, and the gorgeous Jacqueline Bisset. Well, the big hit single taken from the film was pretty raunchy too, and it became a top 5 smash during 1977 for one of the decade's most successful performers, known to many as the Queen of Disco.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about that fella from Village People, aren't you?
No, it's Donna Summer.